morning, this is Gene Thorpe, Little Red Rooster TV, the never-ending improvement show. If this is your first time here, welcome. If this is a return time, thank you for coming back. Please do leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you really like what you hear, share it. Don't be afraid to share it with other people. I was online the other day and I was noticing that there really is a lack of reviews on musical instruments, and I've been in the musical instrument business. I started working at the Boxroom Guitar Center in 1966, and I spent a lot of time in music stores, worked also at Skips Music in Sacramento for a number of years. And here today, I still play. I'm in a band called Voiceover. We definitely like to sing. That's why we have the voice in our name. And anyway, we're going to get on with the review of the 1961 SG reissue, and just basically SG guitar in general. But before we do, we're going to go to the quote of the day. Benjamin Franklin had this thought on taking action: well done is better than well said. And now, with our review. The Gibson SG Guitar was used by some of the greatest artists in the 20th century. I would have to say, starting with George Harrison. He got one early on, and I believe I've heard the story that he gave it to Eric Clapton, so that in Cream, Eric Clapton was using George Harrison's SG, and that was the one that was painted up so famously that they called the Fool. Another one of my most favorite guitar players of all time, John Cipollino from Quicksilver Messenger Service, used a highly modified SG. Frank Zappa used a guitar that looked an awful lot like an SG, but from what I understand, it was a custom guitar. Agnes Young of AC/DC, just it goes on and on. The artists that use them, many artists use them. And the things that I liked about them, I like the style of it, I like the thinness of it, I like the lightness of it. This particular one is a 61 reissue, and it has the nickel hardware on it. I changed out a couple of things. I put this roller bridge on it, and I put a Bigsby vibrato on it. And the way that this Bigsby is affixed is with a unit that goes right into the places where the tailpiece would normally go and doesn't damage the guitar in any way, shape, or form. This particular one has the Kluson tuners, and I actually broke one of these and had to replace it. They're a very good tuner. I remember all of the years that fellows were changing out for Grovers and Schallers and Godas and all of that. But on this guitar, and I've played it many years, it's just been a fine tuning guitar. This one has the jumbo frets on it, rosewood fingerboard. It's got binding along the sides. It's got the Gibson PAF pickups, and of course it's made out of mahogany, and this is the cherry finish. The Gibson SG has had a number of different pickguard appointments over the years. The 61, through about 64 maybe, I think, right around in there, had a little bit smaller pickguard. Then they went to a little bit bigger pickguard. Then they went to a pickguard that went all around the pickups. I personally, because I was first familiar with the earlier ones, really like this because I like the feel of the wood being open around them. But some of the more famous players actually went ahead and used those. Robbie Krieger from The Doors, for example. Also Agnes Young from AC/DC. But anyway, yeah, that's one of the things that had changed over the years on the Gibson SG. This is called an SG Standard, by the way, and it didn't have any binding on it. But the SG Custom, or they probably would have even called it the Les Paul Custom, which usually came appointed with 3 humbucking pickups instead of 2, would have the larger custom type of headstock and a different kind of a logo. And another style of Gibson SG that was very popular was the Gibson SG Special. The difference in the Special is they came in 1 and 2 pickup configurations, and most of the time had the Gibson Soap Bar P80 or P90 pickups that were a single coil type of a pickup. The other thing about them is they would have no binding on the neck for the most part and dot inlays. So the SG Special is a very good guitar. Many professional guitar players love the Gibson SG was a Les Paul. Les Paul started with the Gibson Guitar Company and first started releasing Les Paul guitars in 1952 and did so up until 1960. But in 1961, the executives at Gibson showed Les this style of guitar, and apparently he did not like it very much. They went on 1 year with his name on them, maybe a year and a half around in there, and they had some different types of tailpieces and vibrato arms on them. Actually they stopped using the Les Paul logo. I don't know if it was a financial thing. That is when they started calling them the SG. SG stands for solid guitar. Is this an amplifier-friendly guitar? And the answer to that, in my opinion, is yes. I've seen them played out of everything from an acoustic amplifier, Marshall amplifiers, Sun amplifiers, Fender amplifiers, Supro amplifiers for that matter. And the patent applied for type humbuckers that are used in here are very versatile, and I believe coupled with this thinner body and the way that the guitar is put together does give it a different sound than a Les Paul, in my opinion. And I know there's a lot of talk out there about tone woods and all of that type of thing, and a lot of that can be remedied with your tone control and what kind of an amplifier you're playing out of. But I've heard these with the Doors. Robbie Krieger played them out of an acoustic, sounded great. I've seen it played out of deluxe reverbs in all different forms, and it's just a great little guitar. Okay, to wind up, I know most people would possibly ask this question, or a most frequently asked question might be, if I were going to buy one guitar and I was going to be able to try to be versatile, play a lot of different styles of music on it and that type of thing, would I get an SG? And the answer to my answer, originally, probably before I actually played one on a regular basis, would be no. I would probably want to have some other type of guitar more for jazz, or I would like to have another kind of guitar maybe more for country, or that would be associated. But I'll tell you what, I find this guitar a very versatile guitar. There are a number of things that I really like about it. One main thing is you can get all the way up the neck on a Gibson SG. Number two, it is light. Easy on the shoulder and that type of a thing, and I'll tell you, if you play a 335 or a Les Paul for any length of time, you'll find that it can be wearing on the shoulder if you're playing 4 sets and 5 or 6 sets on the weekends. In any event, I would definitely recommend a Gibson SG. So this is Gene Thorpe, Little Red Rooster TV, signing off. If you enjoyed the show, please reach down and subscribe. If you like it, please like it. If you have a comment, please give us a comment. And if you think it's good enough to share to one of your friends, please share it. Thank you for coming today. We'll see you again soon.